Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for what is the most anticipated event at India by the Bay every year. This year, it's presented by DBS, so thank you, Ajay. You're right in front over here. So Bollywood Spotlight, it's truly special. We're in the 8th year of the festival. And it's all the more special because tonight we have Mrs. Shroff, who's joined us tonight as well. So thank you, Auntie. Thank you very much for coming in. She truly is a lover of Bollywood and everything that it represents, and of India by the Bay. So thank you. So tonight, we present two really amazing personalities. It's a shout out to strong women that we know, to strong mothers, daughters, grandmothers, friends. Take a look around you. Some of them are in this room. But we have Neena Gupta. She's an award-winning film actress. She's a TV personality. And she's also written her biography just now, called Sach Kahun Toh. What's extremely special as well is that she's joined tonight by her daughter, Masaba, who is, in her own right, a fashion designer. We had several people coming in tonight, and they're all in the room, and they were saying, I'm wearing my Masaba today. So you know who you are, but we have several of them sitting out here. So it was, I'm wearing mine, are you wearing yours? So Masaba, you're going to see a lot of that in the room. They're going to be in conversation with Sanjoy Roy. But where you saw the mother-daughter duo most recently was on Netflix in Masaba Masaba. So we're going to start by sprinkling a little bit of stardust tonight. So let me invite on the stage, and you can join me in welcoming her, but Neena Gupta and Masaba.
Thank you so much for being with us again at...
Sorry, Sujoy, why are they in dark?
we'll put the lights on in a bit.
Yeah, that's true. It's just very bright on us and then everything.
But I just wanted to start by acknowledging Mrs. Shroff. Thank you so much for being here with us today. It's really special. I've been, ever since the festival started last weekend, every day I say, when are we going to see you? And for you being here is a very special occasion, I think, for everybody in Hong Kong, and especially the way that you've opened your heart and your soul, and in many cases your wallet, to support so many charities in this city. Really, a big round of applause to Mrs. Shroff. And for the record, I'm also very impressed. The fact that Girish has turned up for the 3rd time in the series of India by the Bay. So thank you, Sarika, Girish, for being here, and thank you to all our partners. Neena Gupta, Masaba, welcome to Hong Kong. Neena, I think you've been here after 35 years. Masaba, you were here earlier, pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID,
yeah,
2017, I think.
2017, and many of our guests today are wearing perhaps what you brought, your pop-up.
Right,
so,
yes.
So absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, this is amazing. I saw a lot of people as I walked in, so that was great.
So we'll come to that story. Neena ji, badhai ho.
Thank you.
60 odd years, and you know, you dreamt of this, of playing the lead character. And then you get this lead character 60 years or 40 years later after you started your theater and film journey. Did you, because it was a sleeper hit, did you have any sense that this pregnant, expecting elderly lady is going to become the biggest hit in Indian cinema?
Not at all. I used to think, oh God, अच्छा role मिला है, वो भी सारा time पेट लगाना पड़ेगा, you know. So, and it is hot on the set. So, But the role was so good, and I didn't know the director or nothing, and I never expected it'll become such a big hit. I never expected, and it just changed my whole career graph. It just changed. So, in my field, they say एक break मिलना होता है, एक break. जो वो break मुझे late मिला, but मिला. And so I tell my director Amit Sharma, I said तुम्हारे लिए कुछ भी करूँगी, जो भी बोलोगे, because that's where I started getting more work and people started writing for me, you know, and things like that. So.
Masaba, I remember your mother put out a tweet or an Instagram post a couple of years before this particular film role that she got, where she said, you know, I really want a role written for me, and I want work. And it was at a time that she was somewhat low. And then she waited. Yeah. Not so much for everybody else's reaction, but for your endorsement. She was terrified in terms of what you would say to her.
Yeah, that's true, because she was like, I don't know. I don't know how you're going to react to this. And I remember she was telling me, I said, why don't you do... The conversation started with me asking her, why don't you do Saas 2? Another Saas, right? Because such a well-received show. And she just kept telling me, you know, I just keep traveling and I'm eating and I'm getting fat. And everyone thinks I live in Delhi, so I'm not getting any work. So I said, let people know that you're here, that you're willing to work. And that's when the post happened. And when I saw it, I was very surprised. But I think till today, a lot of people use that as an example, young, old, whatever, to, you know, say that, hey, we're here and we'd love to do some work. And I think in Bollywood especially, you have to keep reminding people, you know, that you're here, that you do good work, that you're committed and you're interested in working. And because what happens is people's memory is so short, and you know, people forget you. There's new actors every day. There's new people better than you, as good as you every day. But I was very happy that she did it, because I didn't know what would happen, and Badhai Ho happened, so that was great. But I was very happy she just put herself out there, and everybody called me and said, we didn't know that she wants to work.
And in this mother-daughter relationship, did you teach her how to do Instagram and social media?
Have you seen her Instagram? Does it look like I have control?
No, but
well, it certainly looks like you shout at her every now and then.
I
yeah.
absolutely
Initially, I will put a post जिसमें वो नीचे
It was
जो
a screenshot with like everyone's
screenshot,
photographs.
okay. I'll put a photograph. वो नीचे वो आते हैं ना. I didn't know, and and suddenly I'll get a call from Mom. You can't. So I said, shit.
One time there was a bank transaction. Okay, it said, in that screenshot, it said that this has been debited at H&M. And I was like, I said, Mom, you have to take this down. So yeah, she just does not, she's like, I will do my own thing.
But Neena, you talked about how, you know, Badhai Ho was the big sort of celebratory film for you. But one of your first big songs that you acted in is a song that nobody in this room would be unfamiliar with.
बुढ़ापे में मत याद दिलावे.
So Neena, when you acted in this particular song, when you were cast in this particular song, you were very not interested in doing so. And when you actually appeared on the set, your director said, you know, भर के ले आओ.
भर के ले आओ नहीं, कुछ और भरो.
कुछ और भरो.
भर के ले आओ.
I was trying to be polite.
So I was like really shocked, and I got ready and I went, and Subhash ji said, looked at me and says, कुछ भरो, कुछ भरो. I was like, oh my God. ऐसा भी बोलते हैं लोग. But वो अपने काम के लिए बोल रहे थे. वो कुछ देख भी नहीं रहे थे. You know what I mean? It was a matter of fact. I want bigger boobs. You know, it was a matter of fact. So yeah, but I'll tell you, I have done a lot of work after that, TV, and now also, but in small towns. People still know me from Choli Ke Piche. It's very sad, but they do. you know. Yeah, they do.
Why were you so reluctant to be part of that particular?
Because मैं अपने को बहुत बड़ी एक्ट्रेस समझती थी ना कि I have come here to act. There was nothing to act. It was 1/4 of the song. You know what I mean? So I said, अरे यार मतलब I am an actor. NSD से आई हूँ, School of Drama and ये वो, and I am doing just a 1/4 of the song. So I was very like sad and very depressed कि देखो मुझे यही मिल रहा है. And but the song was a hit.
Masaba, I noticed, we're talking about padding women in essential places, but on your website today when I first logged on, I saw the very first photograph of not a model, but somebody who, represented a wholesome woman.
Yeah.
Is this something that you're very particular about?
Yeah, absolutely. It also stems from my mother, who's just like, who are these models? And nobody looks like this. Nobody's this small. But I think, in general, what I've noticed, even as a woman myself who loves to shop, if I look at something and I look at a campaign and I see somebody who is just Giselle, right? Or Naomi Campbell in her body or whatever, and I just get a bit intimidated as a woman. And I kind of question whether this brand is approachable. So I think it started with us wanting to be a lot more approachable as a brand. We wanted to be, we wanted to make sure that all women feel like they can dress up in Masaba and that they feel happy in whatever shape that they're in. And it is now a conscious call. It's also something that is an industry standard, to be honest. If you're just going to show one type of woman, you're not representing the various types of women enough. So yeah, it's a conscious choice, but I think it comes from just that feeling that would I want to wear this? So I think I always put myself in my consumer's shoes and make sure that I don't alienate any kind of woman. Yeah.
One kind of woman, but your mother was a one kind of woman. I mean, she was a single mother right from the very beginning.
Yes.
What was your sort of take or impression, your first memories of her between acting and trying to get a place and trying to look after you?
Listen, I didn't get the big deal as a kid because I was like every kid who came to me, I said, your parents are probably having affairs. So this is fine. Chill out. Everyone has their own stuff going on, right? So it was just that. And they would all look at me and they'd be like, and then they'd cry and like run to the teacher or whatever. So I just feel like when I was younger, I blocked a lot of it out. I think I leaned towards sport to just make all of it go away. And I think when you're a kid, it's amazing how nasty other kids can be. It's amazing how sensitive kids are. We're like sponges. We absorb everything that's said to us. And, it shows up in your adult life in different ways is what I believe. But I just remember immersing myself into tennis. I played professional tennis and I was a really angry tennis player. Smashing rackets.
Is that where you beat up everybody just using the racket?
Just smashing rackets.
When she used to play football and all in school,
I played football too, yeah.
She used to say, so once somebody said, आपकी बेटी ने हमारे उसको धक्का दिया जान के. तो I asked her, I said, ऐसे आपने धक्का क्यों दिया? She says, I love doing it.
Oh gosh, yeah, I really, really enjoyed being aggressive, guys. I don't know why. But yeah, it was a thing. And I think that was my way of venting. I was really competitive. I wasn't studying very well, I think, but I was very competitive at sport. And that's what I used to sort of channel all that was being said about her. The good thing is, Sanjay, I have to say that nothing was ever kept hidden from me. You see, because what happens is sometimes parents, in order to protect their children, just say that, don't read the papers. Papers were a thing that time in Bombay. And there were gossip columns and there was little, nuggets that would keep coming out. But I think she was always just like, hey, this is what it is. This is the status of the relationship. And this is what it's going to be. So I grew up in a very honest environment. Yeah.
Status of a relationship, Neena, the first time you got married because you wanted to go to Kashmir.
What? She's saying what? You haven't read my book. She has not read my book, huh?
I read some parts of it. I read my chapter. and then I let it go.
We'll talk.
So my first boyfriend ever, he was a Bengali, Amlan. And he was from IIT, and my first boyfriend, whom I married also. And Kashmir jana tha, to I told my mom I want to go to Kashmir with him. So she says, no, it's not possible. I said, why? She says, you're not married to him. How can you go to Kashmir with him? So I said, okay, I'll get married. Because मेरा logic बोलता था कि भैया अगर marriage से I can go, तो I will go. You know, at that time I was very young. I was like 24 or 25.
That's not very young.
That's not
I was
young.
hoping you were saying 19 or something when you're like properly dumb.
Masaba, in my time, at 30, I used to think kiss करने से pregnant होते हैं. Our times were different. We were very, very naive and innocent for a long, long time. हमारा आपके जैसा time नहीं है because media नहीं है, internet,
phone नहीं था.
नहीं है. So we were like bachas at that 24, 25. बच्चा एकदम. So, I mean, that's how I used to think. कि अच्छा logic बोलते अगर शादी तो कर लेते लो कर लो जाओ. It was very naive kind of a thing, yeah.
But you met Amlan again many, many years later. He walked in and you didn't even recognize him. You thought it was familiar. You thought the footsteps were familiar, or the voice was familiar.
Yeah, so I was shooting in Himachal somewhere in a small place for a film called what? Bhul gayi. Anyway, The Threshold, very beautiful film. And मैं एक छोटे से गेस्ट हाउस में ठहरी थी because where I was where everybody
You were
was
in Kulu. It was in Kulu.
near Kullu, a place I'll just remember that. Tirthan, बुढ़ापे में memory is going, हाँ. So, and I used to come back from the shoot, and there was a very cute guest house, and I used to go up to my room. Before going up to my room, I used to tell this couple, very sweet couple who was running the place, okay, I'll eat this. I'll go change. So I used to change in my nightie and a shawl or something. It was cold. I used to come back, koi guitar wahan baja raha hota tha. There was this bonfire and all, and I used to eat and go to sleep. So one day I came after the shoot, and I was telling them ki I will eat this. And suddenly somebody says, hello, Neena. I said, hi, ye kaun hai? I said, oh, I've seen him somewhere. Because we met after like ages. Okay, so मैंने कहा कैमरामैन था किसी पिक्चर का कौन था? And then he talked a little more. I said, Amlan, what are you doing here? So he said, I come every year for fishing. There's a trout fishing going on there in Tirthan Valley. And then we met. Then he used to come to the shoots also. It was so nice. There was no bitterness. He was asking, because he knew my brother and my father, mother at that time. So it was so nice to chat, and there was no malice, there was no bitterness, there was no kuch bhi nahi.
But even when you were getting divorced, you were sitting in the court and he went off to get you a
read my
Coca-Cola.
book. You read my book.
Yeah,
right away.
he went to get a Coca-Cola and somebody commented that, hello, I mean, excuse
हाँ,
me.
इतना प्यार से वो आपके लिए कोका कोला ला रहा है तो आप डिवोर्स क्यों कर रहे हैं? So, yeah, because I believe whatever has happened to me, whatever happens to everybody goes through very, very bad times, okay, in their own life. I always say move on. Bitterness नहीं होना चाहिए. Bitterness से अपना कड़वाहट अपने अंदर घुस जाती है. I say move on. I have not forgotten. If you have done something wrong to me, I have not forgotten.
We were nice to you at Jaipur.
Yeah. So, ऐसा नहीं है कि I will forget what he or she has done to me, but उसको अंदर लेके चलना नहीं है. उसको ना एक कोने में ऐसा दबा देना है कार्पेट के नीचे, और you move on. I think that has helped me a lot.
And yet, Masaba, 40 years later, she was just very insistent that you get married and don't live in.
Yeah, we all know how that ended. Yeah, I think it was very surprising for me actually because I said, "Oh, cool," you know. I was dating my now ex-husband, and I said, I'd like to sleep over a couple of nights or whatever. And she said, "No, I think you should just, if you want to do this, get married." No, I think I said I want to live in with him. Yeah, I said I
She
want
wanted to
live
shift in with him.
So
And
she
I
said,
think I
no.
remembered my mother.
Yeah, her mother flashed in
All
her
of us become our parents
Yeah,
at
yeah,
some
yeah,
point.
yeah.
And I remember he also asked me, he said, "Your mother said that?" I said, "Yeah." So literally a month later, wow, this is like Kashmir. I did the same thing. I
That's
was
what I'm saying,
26.
yeah.
Yeah, I was 26 and went to the court, got the signs done and everything, and that's it. Then we moved in. So it was just that.
And the most interesting thing that I found is watching Masaba. Your present husband plays your ex-husband.
Yeah.
I mean, this
It's
this
very
family,
meta,
let me
guys.
tell you.
This is a very twisted family right here. Yeah, that's true. I mean, we've been married 7 months now.
And you both met on Masaba.
We met on the set of Masaba, and he was playing my ex-husband. And then we started seeing each other. And then the pandemic happened, everything happened. I think we were together 3 years, and then we just said, we were living together, which she said, okay, too. And
I learned my lesson, yeah.
yeah. And yeah, the next thing you know, we were married because I said, you know, I think, it's weird, but I also became so conservative in that moment because I said that, oh, you know, I'd love to have a family, but I'd like to be married. Because forget about me going through what she went through, but I just don't want this child, if and when it happens, to go through that because I think children suffer the most, in my opinion. And yeah, I also became my mother in that moment. So yeah.
And Neena, you know, you're talking about becoming your mother, but your mother, while she was very conservative, she also bought you the most sexy swimming suit.
Yeah, so my mother at that time was a double MA, okay? One in political science and one in Sanskrit. And she was a Congress worker. She used to wear khadi saris and no jewelry because I love jewelry so much. She used to say कि तुम बदल गई थी, बच्चा बदल गया था मेरा, तुम मेरी लड़की नहीं हो सकती. What was the question?
That your mother bought you a beautiful, sexy swimming
so
suit.
my mother would go to these auctions and buy me some sexy stuff. And at that time, I had a very good figure and I used to love wearing all these kind of stuff. But when I'll wear it, she says, nahi, nahi, iske upar kuch dalo. You know what I mean? So she was a very strange, interesting mixture of being very well educated, being with the times, reading the newspapers, talking about politics, but on the other hand, like this, again, I think because of her experience in life. So, हम माँ बाप का जो experience in life होता है, वो बच्चों के को बहुत affect करता है. बच्चों के लिए जो वो कहते हैं, उसको बहुत हिंदी में सब समझ में आता है ना मेरे हिंदी, उसको बहुत affect करता है. So I think we all do that. So maybe.
But at the same time, you know, when you decided to go to the National School of Drama, you were first in a theatre group and then you said, Kya karu, National School of Drama. Were they supportive at that point? Because wo to us waqt to hatke tha. I mean, National School of Drama.
No. My mother wanted me to be an IAS officer. My mother wanted me to study because she felt that the most important thing for kids is to study. And I used to say, but I don't want to study this. What is the point? She says, पढ़ाई कहीं ना कहीं हमेशा काम आती है और आती है. I have realized that in a lot of decisions in my life, because I was educated, a lot of things were for better. So, yeah, she was against NSD and I was doing my MA in Sanskrit at that time. And I had enrolled in MPhil in Sanskrit at that time. And I had planned to do my PhD in stage techniques in Sanskrit drama, theory and practice. And I had also written my dissertation for that. But I wanted to do theatre. They were against it, but kya kare?
Masaba, theatre and film has been so much part of her life. Yet when I saw Masaba day before yesterday or whatever, you're a natural. It doesn't matter whether you went to theatre school or film school. Yes, totally. Absolutely natural. And I feel really bad for some of the people who you brought on to your serials because they made an effort. I'm not sure about that. But how did that, is that part of your genes sort of DNA? I mean, what got you into designer, the series?
It was the happiest day of my life to be on a set with a show that's named after me. You don't understand the high. But I was so happy to be in front of a camera because that was what I always wanted to do, actually. Apart
So no
from being
child
an air
actor bit here.
hostess.
She's kept you away.
She did say my nose was too big at some point, and that I look more. She's like, "Tum wahan ki lagti ho." like there's that little, could be a foreigner. You don't know where she's from. Is she Brazilian? That kind of thing. So I think she said, "Listen, you'll get put in this one box." And at the time, there was no OTT. This is maybe 2007, 2008. There was no OTT. There was nothing. There was just films. And the same 5 actors used to get the same 5 films, and the same 5 people used to produce it, right? And the same 5 people have endorsements. So it was that kind of a world. And she said to me, I said, I want to go to Anupam Kher's acting school. And she said, okay. And I remember I had come back after learning singing from London. And I was homesick, and I came back, and I said, I want to act. So she said, okay, but you're not going to get commercial mainstream work because the heroine is not something that you'll get because you don't look the
No Fair
the
and
part.
Lovely. No Fair and Lovely cream.
No Fair and Lovely, no poker straight hair, etc., all of that, fuller body, all of those things. And I remember saying, okay. And I don't know why I listened to her. She said, don't do it. And I said, okay. And she said, do something in which you have to seriously apply your mind. You can do it till, till you, 80, 90, however old, so that's something that you should do. And I remember there was SNDT, which is the fashion school I went to. It shared a wall with Anupam Kher's acting school. And when we were driving past, it said admissions open. And we literally took the car in, drove in, and I gave in my details for the entrance exam, and I got through, and that's it. Then I was in fashion.
So Neena, what's changed? In the days of the Madhuri Dixits and even earlier, I think Rekha was the only exception where Fair and Lovely was sort of, the thing of every Bollywood actor. What's changed today? How is it that somebody like you got, this fabulous role? In today's time, Masaba's show is a huge, huge hit. The Nandita Dases, the Smita Patils of the world continue to really be the new sort of harbingers of a new Bollywood cinema.
Yeah, I think basically when the satellite channels came, like Star Plus, Sony, Z, then everything changed a lot because I have done a lot of work on TV. Then OTT came. So now people are experimenting. People are writing different kind of parts. Even for me, they are writing. Because although abhi bhi heroine वही 4-5 है ना? But there is another
Actor can look
platform.
like shit.
हाँ.
Okay,
Yeah.
and he can be 100 years old. And he's
60,
romancing like...
they're actually 60,
they're like
64.
60,
not quite 100.
64,
Well, one
and
is
then
a
they're
little
like-
older, but hey.
And then they'll be romancing at 20 years, so that still exists.
That kills me, हाँ, sometimes, really. मतलब कि मेरी उम्र का आदमी, एक्टर, यंग लड़की से रोमांस कर रहा है, मेरे को दादी के रोल मिल रहा है. मतलब, it's not fair.
But Neena, in your days, after NSD, you were in iconic films. There was Adar Sheila that you first acted in. And then something that continues to be part of, Indian cinema folklore, which is Jaane Bhi Do Yaro.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, do you know, Jaane Bhi To Yaaro, I had a more important role. I had a track with Ravi Vaswani. So we used to rehearse before we started.
How many of you have seen Jaane Bhi Do Yaro?
Oh, wow.
Those of you who haven't, please go and watch it. It is iconic.
Yeah, you can watch it 100 times. And so my role, so before we started to shoot, it was mostly theater people in the movie. So we used to rehearse. And while rehearsal, they realized कि बहुत लंबी हो रही है picture. So they cut my track. Me and Vivek Vaswani's full track was there, romantic track. They cut that. I was feeling so bad. But at that time, I was so happy to be a part of all theatre people. We used to have so much fun. पैसे वैसे नहीं होते थे. I used to take a rickshaw and go to the shoot. I used to carry my own food, sandwiches, and go to the shoot because वो बहुत सस्ता खाना आता था, बहुत गंदा खाना. So, but it was a great opportunity. And today it's like an iconic.
But जिस वक्त जाने भी दो यारो was released, it wasn't a big hit.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
And it only grew on people after that.
People didn't see. Initially, they won't go if there is no heroine, na. Heroine is most important. Hero, heroine nahi honge. So the initial nahi lagta. That's what they call. Initial nahi lagta. You don't go. Things have changed. Even with the heroine and hero, people don't go to see.
I mean,
now.
Gajraj and you were not, Gajraj is not necessarily, hero in the essential sense of hero. Yeah. Ayushman, yes.
So Ayushman used to say while we were shooting that, I used to say, "Are hero heroine to tum aur Sanya ho." So he used to say, "No, we are sidey. You and Gajraji is the hero heroine." I said, "Nahi yaar, it can't be like that." But it became like that.
How many of you have seen Badhai Ho?
Wow.
Yeah, again, more than Jaane Bhi Do Yaaro.
More
so
than
just
Jaane Bhi Do Yaaro.
look at that. Maybe it's also the demographic we have in the room. But anyway, we'll come back to that.
So do you know that when Amit Sharma was the director, so he was looking, basically they were planning to make it with Tabbu and Irfan at one time. Okay? Then nahi hua. So then Amit Sharma told Ayushman that somebody has suggested Neena Gupta's name. So Ayushman ne kaha, no, she cannot look my mother, no way, she wears these kind of clothes and all that, no, she can't. So they didn't want to take me, okay? Then somebody, see, why I'm talking about this incident is I feel that nothing you do in life goes waste. आज आप यहाँ बैठे हैं, God knows what you will think or learn or not learn somewhere. So I had done a short film called Khujli. Has anyone seen? On YouTube. You must see. It's a 15-minute film, me and Jackie Shroff. It's a very hilarious, very nice film. So I liked the script. So I did it. 2 दिन का काम था तो मैंने कर ली. फिर मैंने कहा यार क्या फ़ायदा? You do these things, nobody sees, blah, blah, blah. I got Badhai Ho because of that film. Because somebody suggested to the director, after Ayushman said, she's too hot, she doesn't look like my mother. So somebody said, but you see Khujli. Because I was like, nightgown mein, lower middle class, get up, upar chunni and all that. He saw that and he decided to cast me.
So in other words, in your book you're talking about casting couch. No casting couch here.
अब बुढ़िया के साथ कौन casting couch करेगा?
But tell us, there's this impression, and I think in your book one of the most important chapters is really this sense that in the world, of course there is, but it's how you play it.
You mean the casting couch thing? It is, I feel how much you want to compromise. It's on every individual. Some girls don't mind sleeping around to get work. I have nothing against them. That's their this thing. But what I said in my book is what I experienced was, which I used to see, that these guys at that time, now things are much more cleaner. Now there's very little casting couch, especially OTT and all. It's like And the youngsters are quite nice.
I
Unki
think that
apni-
was after the Me Too movement that things really changed.
Really,
Yeah,
completely changed.
completely
yeah.
changed.
But this was, she talks about a time when somebody's asked her from the south to come up to his room.
हाँ his room yeah तो मेरे को नहीं मैं उठ के चली आई ना because I also realized that these kind of people will not give you heroin they will sleep with you maybe 10 times and make you stand in one corner for one small little role because it is business. If I am not saleable, they cannot take me. If Kareena Kapoor is saleable, if Ajay Devgan is saleable, they will take. It's a market rate you have. So if they want to sleep with a newcomer, newbie as they call, उसको role भी नहीं मिलता. That's what I wrote in my book. कि don't think कि आपको ये करने से role भी मिल. Just be very careful.
Masaba, the fashion industry has also got all of these allegations, both from the male models. It's not just about women having to pay a particular price, or willingly or forced. It's both sides. Has that changed? Is there a new awareness, or is that part and parcel of the fashion world? And not just in India, but the world over.
I think it hasn't changed much globally. I think women have really come out though. What's changed is that the women are finally talking. I think the abuse in various forms continues to happen. But I think that a lot of women today are just like, usually what happens with women and a lot of men who are in vulnerable positions because they need you for work or stuff like that. I think they take 3, 4, 5, maybe 10 years sometimes to tell their story. But today it's happening there and then, So I think that women have become braver, more vocal about what they're doing. And I have to say, in fashion, at least when I was starting off, even today, I didn't see much abuse in any form. I have to say that. The models were really lovely, educated girls and boys. They were very clear about what they're here for. And like Mom said, there were some people who were happy to say, we're happy to go to the room for an after party if it helps us get cast in one more show. But some people just left, never came back. So I think it's a very personal thing, it's their prerogative. And I think that if you're thick-skinned and you have it in you to go that extra mile to get that extra job, it's on you, there's no problem. But I think I've never been witness to any of...
And how did you come to fashion? I mean, somebody's talked about bold and quirky, sort of talking about the fashion that you've come up with. How did you come to fashion? And in many ways, how did that sort of distill and become bold and quirky, what everybody today is wearing? Including a kurta that I saw, which I love, by the way, which I will order.
Okay. I remember I used to be an usher at Fashion Week, at Lakme Fashion Week. I was in charge of, as a student of fashion, we used to help people find their seats. And I just landed up seeing shows from morning to night. So I saw show after show. And I remember thinking...
But most of the bridal stuff looks alike? No, oh, sorry.
That's exactly what I thought. I said, didn't we just finish this show? It's the same thing. And it was just the same thing over and over again. And it was all bridal. I don't think you could do a runway show with like a jacket like this and a skirt at the time. And I very clearly noticed that there was a gap in the market. That there is that kind of woman who wants to wear just comfortable, cool, standout clothes. And she wants to wear them every day, not just for her big day. And that's how I formed my language. I remember the first print I ever did was the palm. And that is my palm, actually. So I remember we were...
Anybody wearing the palm, which is again iconic?
I would be surprised if,
Yeah, very old now. Yeah.
It's 14 years old, the print. But the idea I think my aesthetic was formed because of my mother. She used to wear Satyapal saris. I remember I took over as creative head of Satyapal in 2012 for 2 years. And it was the biggest moment of my life because I remember her storing those saris like art, nicely wrapped, kept away, and worn for a special occasion. And I remember we used to do this thing where she used to take impressions of my palm and my feet and used to say Riddhi, Siddhi, Vriddhi. And she used to frame them. And I saw that, and I had to start conceptualizing my first show, which was Gen Next, my debut. And I said, what do I do that is different and that nobody has access to? And it was what she had framed up on the wall. So I just took that print off my palm and my feet, and that was the beginning of that journey.
So palms and feet and success. Neena, you went through, as they say in Bollywood, each struggle period. Tell us a little bit about why was it such an intense sort of effort to try and get these roles that you were looking for?
At that time, there was only films and very little of TV. So it was very difficult to even meet a producer. They would not meet you. Only Shyam Benigals, they will meet you. But just see, so we could meet Said Mirza, Shyam Benegal, Govind Nilani. They would meet us because we are from NSD. But we couldn't meet Subhash Ghai and ABCD. But Shyam Benegal also took Smita, Shabana in the main roles. We still didn't get main roles. And the other film, kind of film which was kind of parallel to this parallel, they took Deepti Naval. So हम तो वही छोटा 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 करके frustrated होते रहते थे, but I feel beggar. I'll tell you the beggar story. You want to hear my beggar story? So एक बार मुझे तो कोई रोल नहीं मिलते थे. Once I did a role of a servant girl. दो scene थे where I'm cooking and Shabana was there. That film never got made, and I remember Shabana came to me and she says, "Why are you doing this role?" I said, "What can I do? I don't get work. I need money." So one day, big film producer का picture में, जिसमें there was Rishi Kapoor, Juhi Chawla, Vinod Khanna, and a whole lot of people. So, और क्या किसका Shakti Kapoor, okay? So, so I got it's a big commercial film, all big stars. So I got a role of Shakti Kapoor is a Bhikhari. He's the head of the Bhikhari gang. And he has these all Bhikharis behind him. I was one of...
Kangal.
No, I'm one of those. Gande gande kapde pehn. So I was one of those Bhikharans. So we were shooting, I remember, in Mud Island. And in that scene, I had 1.5 dialogue. And I was looking forward to speaking that 1.5 line. Because I had no lines, I was just going like that. So there was some problem, Vinod Khanna, somebody had to leave early or something. So this director said, okay, cut. Okay, you people can rest. Now we... So I said, "Arey yaar, my dialogue was there." So he said, no, there's no need. I was... Matlab, for that 1.5 line, I was devastated because I was looking forward, rehearsing in my mind how I'll do it. And I went to the director. I said, I knew him. I said, yaar, mera to ek dead dialogue tha. You have cut that also. He gave me maa behan, in front of everybody. He abused me because he was in a rush and all that. He says, "Hey, what do you think of yourself? You this, you that, karke." And I started crying and all that. And then Juhi was there. Juhi Chawla took me to her makeup room and said, "Don't worry. Hum sab ne aisa kuch saha hua hai." That's what she said. So that was a very traumatic thing. ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें हुई, but this is तो like something else. My Bhikhari scene. Please don't see that movie. I used to pray that this movie will not get released. I used to pray.
But in terms of trauma, on set, Masaba in many ways saved your life.
Oh, yeah. It's a long story. People will get bored.
Please, tell the story. Share the story.
You want to listen to that story? Sad story. So, Masaba was very small when she was getting that injection, you get
The
those...
typhoid.
ये 3 वाला ना?
Diphtheria,
हाँ.
typhoid.
So she'd got one injection and I had literally no money in bank, and I got Sanjay Khan's series में, Tipu Sultan में, I got a role and we had to go to Mysore to do that. And so I was very excited because I really needed money. So she was very small, so I had her maid with me. And we went to Mysore and we were put up in an apartment. Jisme there were 3-4 rooms. So the girl who was playing my mother was in one room, Masaba, me and some other actor in another room. And now the point was that I had to find a way to get out of the clutches of one main person so that I can do the series, because he was supposed to be a womanizer and he kind of will attack me and all that. So I told this lady who was playing my mother, anywhere he calls, na, you come with me. Okay? हाँ मम्मी को साथ में लेके जाएंगे, वो वाली मम्मी को. Anyway, so there was this wedding scene. I played Tipu Sultan's mother when she was young. So there was this my wedding scene in the thing in a studio. So when you enter the studio, there's a door, and then there's one room here, one room there, and in the end there's a veranda where the wedding scene was happening. So I was clad in nylon lehenga and orni and jewelry and all that. And so that day Masaba had fever, wo TK ka fever. And I used to bring her, because I was feeding her, to the location. So that day I said, no, I told my maid, you stay with her, because the makeup room had a, what do you call in English, sealant?
Fungus.
Fungus, mold, huh? And I said, she has fever, so let her be there. So I left her in the apartment and I came for the shoot. And by afternoon, I said, doesn't matter, yeah, of the sealant and all that. Let me call her. At least she'll be, and I had to feed her. So she'll be in front of my eyes. Nothing will happen. So.
And you were aching. You really wanted to feed her at that point
Yeah,
of time.
because if you don't take the milk out, you ache. It is a very, very bad pain and all that. So this lady who was playing my mother, she says, kuch nahi hoga, you call her. So I send the car back and I call her and my maid. And they came, and I went to the shoot, and they were, I fed her. They were in the makeup room. So this is my makeup room, and where this room ends, usse thoda aur aage was the studio. So they were doing the wedding scene, and it was pretty late in the evening. So they said, after the shot, they said, it is going to be pack up after this. So I was very excited. And then suddenly somebody said, no, there are too many junior artists we have called. So to be...
It's too expensive. We have to
cost
finish
effective, so we should finish this scene today. So I said, oh God. So I said, okay. Quietly, I came out, because if I had told Sanjoy Khan or somebody, I am going, they'll say, ruko. So I quietly sneaked out to feed her to the makeup room. And 45 people died inside the set. So they were...
Anar.
Anar jalaya tha and gunny bag ceiling thi. And this the woman who played my mother was also going. So I said, ruk jao na, aapka mere saath scene hai, aap kyun ja rahe ho pehle? And I was feeding her and I heard a blast. The whole thing. And a lot of people died. Almost 45 people died. And
Sanjay Khan was hugely injured as well.
But he was the only person who was taken to Bangalore that day. And I was in a trance for 1 month. Then we shared, then my friend Shankar Nag from Bangalore, he called us to his house, and then we got our tickets done, and then we came back.
I think your Nanaji thought that you had died.
So what
you
happened?
had to make that call.
हाँ, so उस वक्त phone नहीं थे, ये वाले mobile. So I came to my apartment, and everybody used to come for blankets and all, because Mysore was not equipped for so much burn injuries. So they used to see me say, oh, you are alive. Oh, you are alive. Because I was supposed to be there. I came out to feed her. That's the story. And then, my God, we went and what was I saying? देखो बुढ़ापा का असर हो रहा है.
Yeah, and I'll give you Brahmi. You should have Brahmi every day. But we're talking about Masaba saving you.
Huh?
That Masaba.
Ah, so if I hadn't called her, if I didn't sneak out to feed her, I would be dead. You know, it was like that. And when we came back, and then, what we were talking, then I said, कि सुबह तो news आ जाएगी TV में that so many people dead in this. And my dad will freak out and everybody's kith and kin will freak out. Parents will freak out. So niche, the landlords used to stay down below in the ground floor. So we requested them that, like, we will make one call to our common friend and tell him to call everybody. Trunk call we used to do. So I called up my dad and I said, Papa, if you will hear something now, यहाँ पे थोड़ा कुछ accident हुआ था. If you hear something like that tomorrow, just don't worry, me and Masaba are safe. So he's saying, why is she saying that? And the next morning when they read, my God, everybody was like, my God, who's died?
It was quite an amazing, and sadly, you know, there's so many people who perished. Masaba, I'm conscious that we're running out of time, so I'm going to just fast forward. When is it that you sort of figured that your dad was somebody who all of India lusted after, apart from your mom? It was one of the most famous cricketers ever.
Well, the boys in school used to give me like small bats to be signed all the time. That was one. And they weren't really interested in me. It was just my dad. So I think that was another thing. That was a giveaway. But I think as early as I could remember, maybe when I was 8 or 9 is when I first got a hint of the stardom. It didn't start from the India chapter, but we used to travel a lot with him. And in London, in Australia, in any part of the world, I mean, worshipped him. And it was just red carpets laid out for the smallest of things, for a dinner, for a drink, for anything. And I think that's when I realized. But I remember when I was 13 or so, I decided to see what he's about. So I started to look up stuff and asked mom if there's any footage of him playing and stuff like that, because I never saw him play. And then I remember the second time that I got a hint of how great he was when I finally saw Fire in Babylon. That was pretty recent, I think maybe 5 years back or so. And that's when I got the whole deal. But he was always, I think, he just never understood or made use of his stardom. He never did. In fact, I wish he did sometimes, but he just never did. He was very shy to ask for anything. And yeah, there was one time when he used to coach the sons of the, what was that family, the royal family? Brunei. And we were called out there once. He used to coach them privately. And he was just cars and diamonds and whatever you want, like at your beck and call. And I remember thinking, what is this man? What does he do? Because I was like, what is he doing, you know? So yeah, then I think in some way I tried to replicate or at least be a part of some legacy of sport, because I played professional tennis and I played a lot of sport as a kid. And I think till today I kind of regret not taking it up as a career.
Not smashing that tennis racket.
Yeah, and I remember he got, gosh, there's so many moments now that you say it. Agassi's racket was just handed to me because he's like, give it to your daughter if she's playing tennis. I said, this is Andre Agassi's jacket. Not jacket, racket. So it was just the most, it was crazy. I think I saw a very different life. I used to sleep in the commentary box. So it was a very different
and by
side.
the way, his dress sense is also very nice.
Yeah, the fashion comes from him.
Yeah.
That's the DNA. That's the DNA.
Yeah,
you could see that.
He dresses up very well, very well.
So to finish this before I open it up, what got you so attracted to him?
एक सेकंड, ये भी कोई पूछने की बात है?
बता तो दो,
सारी
कुछ तो
दुनिया-
कहो.
अरे सारी दुनिया अट्रैक्टेड है उसके पीछे, मैं क्या हूँ? मैं तो कुछ भी नहीं हूँ.
But there was a story.
There is the first time I noticed him was I used to be a big cricket fan. तब तो matches used to only happen in winters. Okay, so we used to wait for
Most
the matches.
sensible.
We used to wait. So one day I was in Jaipur, and I was watching the match on TV. I was shooting, and they lost. West Indies lost by 1 run or something like that. And I was watching, and I saw this man who was almost crying. तो मैंने कहा देखो कैसा हट्टा कट्टा बड़ा इतना फेमस आदमी है और देखो रो रहा है, मतलब इसको शर्म नहीं है रोने की. एंड कट टू द नेक्स्ट डे, Maharani of Jaipur called me, Vinod Khanna, us and the team for dinner, and there we met.
And?
उसके बाद बहुत लंबी कहानी है.
I happened.
Fast forward, you didn't happen at that point. Fast forward, you met him in a...
No.
You didn't have a number.
No, I met him and all that, and then he went away, and I didn't even take his number. I was very shy actually, and he also didn't take my number. So खत्म. उसके बाद जो होना होता है ना, उसके बाद I'm going somewhere at the airport in India. Somewhere I'm waiting, and I suddenly see the Blazers coming in. I said, "Hey, ये तो West Indies के Blazer है," and I saw him, and then we exchanged numbers.
So on that happy note of then we exchange numbers. Any questions? What I will do is take questions from both sides of the house, but in lots. So any questions? Put up your hands and we'd be happy to take them. Don't feel shy.
All
it's
answers
okay.
we have given.
Anybody? Otherwise we can go back. Yeah. Or just wait for the mic to come because...
This question goes both to Neena Gupta and Masaba. So I'm a single mom, and I know you are a single mom. Navigating that in the Indian society is really hard. And I want to ask to Neena, what's one advice you could give to a single mom? And to Masaba, what advice could you give in me navigating my son's emotions when it comes to divorce and being a single mom? Thank you.
If somebody would ask me that if I'm not married and I want to have a kid, I will say no. It's a very, very tough journey because a child needs more father and mother, and it is very tough. So I will not, people used to tell me, I'll say no. And also it is not just me deciding. I had a very supportive father, you know, and I had different kind of friends and all that. So I would never say that go ahead, do it. I'll never say.
Mom, it's happened.
No. It is happened. No, she's saying it's
she's
happened.
Like, what do I do now?
No. No, she's not asking me. She's asking you what to do now. I'm saying, generally, I would say never do it. But if you are single, then you have to sacrifice a lot of things. Earn your money and be honest to your child, and you may meet somebody else. You know, always be hopeful and be strong. And strength comes from money, a lot of it. Yeah.
Masaba.
I think communication is key because I remember it was a very free, open space for me as a child to, you know, be at home, and I could ask any questions about what was written in the papers, and she was always communicating with me. So I think that's a great gift we all have, you know, to communicate and keep a very free, open space where there's no wrong questions and there's no wrong answers either. So I think honesty, communication, and money. Lots of cash. Yeah.
Masaba, was mom conservative? I know she's a bit of a darpoke, but was she also conservative? Was she conservative?
Yeah, in many ways she is, actually. She is. And I think it was mostly it was very typical, you know, it was just do well at school, study, finish your education. And even though she let me do many things, I used to dance, I was singing, I did, you know, music, I did the fashion thing finally happened. So I think that it was always just, okay, do what you want, but listen, there's a line. So I was very scared of her. I was shit scared of her as a child.
And Neena's second husbands, both of you, so any advice to each other?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I never thought about it.
Even I
both
didn't
of
think
us.
of it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's the problem, you know.
अच्छा आप उनसे क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे थे ना
आप बताओ ना.
क्या बताएं
Second husbands, any advice?
to husbands or to us or to each
Both,
other
both. Any
Husbands don't need
confidences?
to know everything, whether it's the first time or the second time. Please hold back some information.
Neena, from you?
अपना पैसा संभाल के फिर भी रखो
Any questions from this side? Go ahead, Anvi. Mic right up front.
Thank you both thank you all three of you for a very fun chat this evening. So my question is regarding India as a nation. Since it's been changing at such a rapid pace, especially the last 10 to 15 years, what do you think, especially as women, what more do you think the country needs to evolve to be a more open and hopeful society?
the mothers need to teach their sons to be respectful to girls. I feel that will bring a major change. Because mothers only teach them कि नहीं तू बैठा रहे बहन पानी लेके आएगी तू बैठा रहे you know कि mothers because they are repeating what has happened to them they should not. It's difficult but I think that will bring a major change. Another very big problem right now is that women are earning so they don't take shit from guys. So there's a problem. Sometimes women are earning more than the guy. The guy can't take it because he's not used to. So these are small little problems which are the teething problems of the new society where women are being educated, not just educated, they are doing jobs. तो अब उसमें कब बच्चा पैदा करना है क्या करना है husband का relation it's a new thing where teething problems are there but the most important is mothers to the son.
And I think mothers to the daughters as well, because a lot of the time what happens is I went to an all-girl fashion school, right? And 40 of us in class. By the end of the first semester, there were 20 left because all the 20 got married. So you see, what happens is that sometimes parents also raise daughters to believe that, listen, do something till you get married, you know, and get married at a certain age. So I think it's both ways, how mothers and how, you know, parents are raising the children of the new India, as they say. Yeah.
Masaba, I'm going to end this evening with a question to you. You know, Neena talked about financial security today. She, because of her career, is in a much better place. And of course, also because of Choli Ke Piche, you sort of stabilized in many ways. But Masaba, you've now invested also into food. And that's a wonderful new path that you've opened up within the larger lifestyle place. Did you want to just share this new wonderful project where you're paying 1 crore to Salman Khan for his home?
I'm not paying 1 crore to Salman Khan.
Oh, well,
that's the rent for the
yeah.
property Salman owns. The other guys are paying it. No, I invested in a bunch of companies, actually. There's fashion. There's a great women's fertility tracker app. Great guys out of Bangalore. There's food. And there's also this great app that I've invested in, which basically is called Salt. And it is run by 2 women who encourage women and teach women to learn how to control their finances. So they tell you how to save, they tell you where to invest, and it's all women, run by women, for women. So I love that as well. So yeah, there's a bit of finance there, there's a bit of food, there's a bit of fashion, there's a little bit of fertility, there's also like sneaker resale. So I'm getting there, baby steps, but a very, very new amateur investor. That's a new hat I'm wearing, yeah.
Neena, you talked about money. Much of this room is people from financial services. Money empowers?
100%.
On that happy note, ladies and gentlemen, Masaba, Neena Gupta, may I please invite Ajay Mathur, the Managing Director and the Head of Consumer Banking of DBS Group, to come up stage and and sort of felicitate our two wonderful guests for today. Urvashi, Parul, if you wanted to. Yeah. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Neena Gupta. A little bit more enthusiasm. She shared her whole life. Masaba. And DBS has been wonderful. They're giving out 3 wonderful gifts. I'm going to ask Neena, Masaba, and Ajay to pick this from a bowl that we have someplace. So,
DBS Treasures Hong Kong is going to notify the winners via email on the redemption process.
don't announce it yet. Don't announce it yet. So I hope you all have your whatever they are all ready. Neena, the winner is?
Number pado. 00204.
00204. Congratulations. You don't have to, but congratulations. And we'll come back to you. Masaba?
00012.
00012.
Who's got that number?
Please stand for a second so we can acknowledge you. Thank you so much. Congratulations. And Ajay?
00074.
00074. 000. We're not worrying about the missing ones. We're worrying about the ones who have actually got the number. Congratulations. Congratulations. Ajay, did you want to say a few words?
Thank you very much. Firstly, Neena and Masaba, thank you so much for doing this today. It's a lot that, we followed you over the movies, over the series, but getting to have you here in person and hear from you, I think that's been tremendous. So on behalf of everybody here, thank you so much again.
Thank you all. Remember, it's Bollywood Love Story tomorrow at Sishu Center. It's an amazing musical in the Broadway tradition. Come out there. And of course, day after, we'll see you back right here for the closing gala dinner. On behalf of all of us at India by the Bay, thank you. And once again, Masaba, Neena, wonderful. Thank you for being here.